Alright, and we are back. Sapphire here again, with part 6 of my trophy case series. Just get myself into the game here. So, my psychos have specifically been...
Did you hear? Borderlands did.
What I had early on, my plan with the psychos was... Well, when I started the first psycho, the plan was to be the trophy case for orange stuff, because of the sheer volume of other flavor texted objects. Now this is another character who is level 50? Why is he level 50? Well, yeah, actually I think, yeah, so I've finished the playthrough. Or not. No, he's level 50 because he did a DLC after the first playthrough. Because as you can see, he's not done the playthrough. It's another case where...
I appreciate you saying that.
If it makes you feel it.
It's another case where the save on the 360, he has finished the playthrough. Here he hasn't. Maybe not, actually. I think this is the one character that... This is the one character that was kind of unlocking achievements for me here on the Xbox One, because... Specifically because of the fact that he wasn't done the playthrough, so... When you've got so many characters between multiple consoles, it gets a little confusing. So, this Psycho, the high-level Psycho... Finish explaining what I was explaining before. I have two Psychos in my character menu, and that is because there was just so many orange items that I had to spread them out a bit, so I created a filter. This guy has all non-elemental, or not necessarily non-elemental, but non-fire damage, non-bayoneted orange weapons. This video might be a little longer than the other trophy cases, except for that last one, the Mecha Monster, just because she was... I showed off a little bit of play with her. So the well-kept striker, Jacob's orange shotgun. For when it's level appropriate, a lot of power. Jacob's are all around good shotguns. They're got the Bandit grip stock and the Bandit pump. That is the Hyperion barrel. The quick drawler Bada Boom is... Who dropped this? This was, I think, King Mong, actually. That giant bully Mong when you're in Iridium Blight. And there's a challenge in that map to kill him while he's slagged. And this would have dropped from him. Now it's... The accuracy, in terms of being a rocket launcher, its accuracy is pretty pathetic, but it is a lot of damage output. Again, because it's a ×6, it's not a ×2. Or not a ×3, which I think is most Bandit shot lot rocket launchers. Again, it's been a while since I regularly played, and I've kind of been coming back to it lately, but there was a point where this was all I was playing. The accurate Madhouse, which, as it turns out, is not accurate at all. The shots go wide, they just go everywhere. So it's not the most useful orange weapon. In terms of sheer magazine capacity, it's reasonable, but I don't remember who dropped this either. This would have been just a rare drop from a badass, probably. Very low level, Thunderball Fists. This is a rare drop from Captain Flint. This is the Maliwan Body and Barrel. Tedior Grip. And again, when it's level appropriate, it's actually really good for the electrical damage. The electrical damage climbs. You hit an enemy center mass, and these electrical bursts kind of travel upward toward their head. So it was interesting for that reason. Okay, so I did move one of these off. I was talking about this in my Mecha Monster video. That there's probably another one of these in... My Assassin may or may not have one of these equipped right now. I can't remember. It was a long time ago when I did my Assassin video. The Lyudmila, or Lyudmila. It was called the White Death on the 360. Like on the disc version of the game. I also, because it went on sale, I downloaded the digital copy of the game, so it gets updated when they update the game. And they updated it to the proper name. This Lyudmila is what it was supposed to be. And it's just a wonderful sniper rifle. Just pound for pound, you're hitting an enemy with sniper rounds at a 6.4 fire rate. This weapon showed its practicality fighting the Thresher that eats the lunar module. I had 2 or 3 characters do that fight with, like a dozen bleed outs and 1 or 2 deaths. The first character that fought that Thresher with this sniper rifle hit him in the side of the head with the burst, slag damage, regular damage on top of it. Hit that Thresher in the side of the head with this rifle. The fight was over in 30 seconds. Obviously that was first playthrough, so that was a moment where I realized, hot damn, this is a good sniper rifle. Stalking Bunny. I believe I got this from the Highlands. I think it was a rare drop from not a Thresher, but a Stalker. I think it was a badass Stalker, and he dropped this bunny. And much like all TDR weapons, you throw it, and then it flies away and explodes. This one bounces around vertically a couple times before blowing up. And it has a chance to, wander back to you and blow up, which is why, again, like lots of TDR, it's just not that practical. Conference Call. I think people who know the game know that this is one of the best shotguns. The shot hits the enemy and spreads out in, if not a T shape, then a plus shape. And for this level, this would have dropped from the warrior, but using it against the warrior makes that a really quick fight. Because the shot, you hit him in the chest, it spreads out, it does more damage to him as it's spreading out. And it's Hyperion, so it's got a fantastic fire rate. Yeah, for its level appropriateness, when it's level appropriate, it is one of the best shotguns you'll ever use in the game. The Kerr Blaster, very low level. I wanted to say this dropped from Midgemong in Southern Shelf. And the logic of the game is that any orange item can drop from any badass enemy. It's a rare drop equation, which is part of the reason why this is such a low level gun. If it had been higher level, like maybe if I'd gotten a second tier drop of this, which I never did, 6 characters and I never did, but it would have been probably quite practical. But it's level 8, I think, yeah, level 8, and it's just hard to... A level 8 weapon stops being useful when you're beyond level 11. Stopping Emperor. This came out of... I'm pretty sure it was a fire ant. Somewhere in Frostburn. If not that, then I'm pretty damn sure it was out of Frostburn Canyon. And I'm actually quite happy that I have this one because it's... Again, it's a Warhammer reference first and foremost. It's, for him. It's for the Emperor is one of the battle cries in the Warhammer universe. And again, I'm really happy with this one because it is vendor pure. Except for the iron sight, and again, I've mentioned I don't concern myself with the iron sight too much, but with the sights on them in the first place. But you've got a dull body, grip, barrel, stock. Like it looks very cohesive as a dull weapon. Rapid Infinity, another low-level drop, probably from a grinding run. This would have been a fantastic gun to have a higher-level version of. Because reload speed 2.3, magazine size 1. You never have to reload this gun. You start pulling the trigger, it never empties. It's closer than you think. No, it isn't. Again, like I said, if this had been a higher level version, it would have been fantastic, but it was a low level drop from Super Gunnerang. Again, like TDR, not terribly useful. Not an incredibly... Not a very good pistol either, pound for pound. Kind of like the bunny, it bounces around. Well, it boomerangs around, that's the idea. You throw it and it kind of flies around. 3 parts TDR, body, barrel, scope, Maliwan grip. As I was saying with shotguns in the Micro Monster video, the TDR stuff would be very easy to make for the sake of cosplaying, because it's so boxy. I think you could do it really easy with papercraft, or you could just carve it out of wood. Gentle Deliverance. I'm trying to remember where I got this. There's usually a badass enemy who's specifically tied to a certain drop, like a rare chance of dropping that one gun. I want to say this came from the Highlands somewhere too, but I just don't remember. No, this came out of the preserve. There's a couple named creatures who aren't just standard cannon fodder. And when you kill them, they have rare drops. This came from one of them. It's like... what are the names? Pimon and Tumba? A Lion King reference. One's a skag, one's a stalker. They both have a rare drop. This came from one of them. The bitch. People who know the first game know this is one of the best orange weapons in the first game, and they brought it back. And this one, even the scope on it, if I'm not mistaken, that might be the Hyperion scope, the iron sight. And this is a full Hyperion bitch, body, barrel, grip, stock, and it does slag damage too. And like Hyperion, it's kind of all over the place, you know, because as you fire a Hyperion weapon, the accuracy slowly starts improving. But yeah, every character, pretty much every character who was still level appropriate to use this, got to use it. Extendified Gub. I think this was just a badass drop. At the time that I got it, the teapot, the level appropriate teapot, was still the better caustic weapon. That was my memory of it anyway. I can't remember exactly what the unique perk of this pistol was supposed to be, but... A Flacker. I am pretty sure this is a drop. Now, technically, I remember seeing this frequently in the Torg vending machines in the Torg DLC. It was... And with the Torg vending machines, you need the Torg tokens to buy those guns. And they're just... You need so many tokens, they're so expensive, so... The easiest way to get those tokens is to grind that bar fight. And since I haven't played multiplayer in a long time, it's a hard thing to grind. I guess, you could grind it by doing it by yourself as a Tier 2 character playing in Tier 1, but then you'd get a Tier 1 flacker. Well, you'd be getting Tier 1 guns if you're buying them out of those shops during that playthrough. So. And functionally, because I'm pretty sure I think the iron sight, I honestly don't remember what the Torg... I have a little notebook that I was making sketches in to remember what parts were. This is definitely body, barrel, and grip stock Torg. The scope is the banded stock. The scope is the banded scope. Again, not a speaker. Muddling my words a little bit, and it's the TDR pump. The accuracy is garbage, but if you're point blank on somebody, you're gonna wreck them with this shotgun. And we're lagging again, whatever. Low-level Quasar. Very interesting gun. Grenade. Very interesting grenade. What did I say about muddling my words? There you go. Low-level grenade. A high-level version of this would be phenomenal, especially in the hands of the Micro Monster. If I'm not mistaken, The Quasar simultaneously behaves like a MIRV, an area of effect grenade, and I should just pull it out once I'm done going through the stack here. I don't want to back out of the bank, because when you do, it rearranges the order things are in. So once I'm done going through the list, I'm going to pull it out and demonstrate it. Shield Neogenator. Increases elemental resistance against the last elemental damage received and regenerates health while active. Shield damage increases health regeneration rate. For its level, just astonishingly low capacity, but which, because of that, the perks of this shield were never really that appealing. This would be another easy shield to make for cosplay purposes. Transformer. One of the more useful and awesome orange shields. It's an absorb shield, so it sucks in the ammo. And immune to electrocute damage. If I'm not mistaken, my Micromonster made good use of this when she was level appropriate. In terms of using absorb shields, I do not concern myself if they have an absorb rate lower than 21%. It's like the higher the rate, like 30-31% is about as high as they get. Still lagging. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. The doll shields drop boosters when they take damage. They're usually a little power core that replenish. You quickly grab them and they throw capacity back into your shield. This thing, when it takes damage, drops IED boosters, so those little things blow up, which makes this shield a massive liability, because the damage happens to you. If it had a no friendly fire code on it, it would actually be really useful, but it just doesn't. The Cradle, another low-level drop, and I'm pretty sure this came from... This one I know came from a stalker in the Highlands. Low capacity, but like TDR stuff, the shield fires itself out and explodes when it gets fully depleted. It's an interesting concept, especially for a shield. Again, low level drop, not terribly useful to all my characters here. Okay, so that is the bottom of the bank, so I was quickly going to pull this out and demonstrate it. Now, he's also packing a rocket launcher, which I was planning on saving up the Torg tokens and purchasing from a Torg vendor. It is the Nukem type launcher. It's doing the damage of 2 missiles when you fire it. And this, I explicitly remember how I got this one. I jumped into my assassin for literally a 5-minute session to just do a quick grind of opportunity. Open an ammo crate, a loot midget jumps out at me, I kill him with a sniper rifle, and he dropped this launcher. I was very happy about that. So he's packing a Triquetra right now, a level... Well, it's still not... Well, it's not level appropriate, but in terms of its damage output, it is still the better shotgun. And this is a pure version, too. It's Jacob's grip on the Jacob's body. I think the Jacob's grip actually makes it do more damage than any other grip. Got a good meat mod. So in doing what he was doing here, this may have happened while playing this character on the Xbox One. I got another Emperor drop. So obviously this one's not pure doll. It's got a bandit stock and the Hyperion grip. It's still the doll barrel. Bayonets, I am not entirely sure how to, what vendor applies to what bayonet. This, I think, is the Maliwan. Just because it's curvy. Everything Maliwan is kind of organic and curvy. He's got some other stuff. He's got a decent Torg shotgun. Electric SMG, a bunch of garbage. He also has In the time playing the Psychos, I've encountered 2 legendary Psycho mods. This one was the better one. I think the other one was higher level, but with the Psycho, there's a bit of it's that cost benefit thing, and you sacrifice a little bit when using certain mods. See, this perks feed the meat. Increases melee damage. Further increased if your shield is down and your magazine is empty. It's everything in this Hellborn tree that, much like the Mecha Monster, is a cost-benefit analysis. You do increased burn damage, but you have a chance to light yourself on fire. And it does stack. It's made to stack, so if you're on fire, the damage you're doing increases. Killing an enemy increases your chance of causing elemental effects, so that's kind of the selling point of that side of the tree. I've focused on building him down this tree, just because certain... Where is it here? That's a really incredible perk. That's great for this class, putting dynamite on the axe. On top of which, the action skill is so satisfying. After doing 2 playthroughs with 5 other characters, just being frustrated by certain things, being able to go at enemies with a friggin' battle axe was just such... It made the character worth it. There's just a lot of that, yeah, how do you like me now moments, screaming at enemies. So yeah, one of these perks increases magazine size. Yeah, well, right, that one right there. Increased for each stack of Bloodlust. So when you have that orange sniper, the Lyudmila, if you have so many stacks, if you have a certain number of stacks in this because of this perk, you can cook off every sniper round that you're carrying with the Lyudmila, with that sniper rifle, and not have to reload once. I've encountered that. It is... That perk, like, to me, that perk right there, Blood-Filled Guns, is one of the Psycho's best perks.
Got a mission if you're up for it.
That'll work for me. And again, I'm level 50, but... Actually, I think I did 2 DLCs with this character. So I took that grenade with me. Slag Bouncing Betty. For the characters who can't either twin up a slag weapon, like the Gunzerker, or just have slag inherently attached to something, like the Interspersed Outburst perk on the Mecha Monster, a grenade is the best way to get slag into an enemy group. Especially for the sake of 3rd playthrough, because you need slag to kill everybody in 3rd playthrough. And about homing are half decent. Area of effect aren't entirely reliable because enemies can just run away from it. Bouncing Betty so far has seemed to be one of the more practical ones, just because they equal opportunity to chance to hit the enemy. So I was going to demonstrate this Quasar. Longbow. Yes, it got the pulls. Yeah, that's what it does. That's why it's a great grenade. Pulls enemies in. And then does a shock burst damage. I feel like I've seen it... Maybe it has to be actually being used, but I feel like I've seen it behave like a Merv, where it throws out grenades. Could be completely wrong though. My friend had the Stormfront, which is like Tesla Merv, so every child grenade is a Tesla source. This will be addressed in the other Psycho, because I've got, as I said at the top, I've got 2 Psychos because of just the sheer volume necessary for an orange trophy case. So it's a redundant Logan's gun. This one does fire damage, which is why it's in the trophy case of the other Psycho. And I think I have several of these, and that's another one where I'm kind of hoping to get one that has the Hyperion grip on it just to get full purity. In terms of the wiki, there's nothing it says about that gun that says it couldn't be full Hyperion. quickly going to jump to the other Psycho to show off the other orange stuff. If you're wondering what head he's wearing, that is actually the head the Psycho gets for completing the To Pay the Bills challenge, where you get 1,000 kills with your action skill. You can get a good look at it right now. That still hasn't improved, even on the Xbox One version. That it takes a moment for textures to kick in there. So that's the head you get from that. The other Psycho was one that was being played co-op. So he's got that head going on. He might be carrying a couple orange things too. Or just a lot of higher level stuff than him. Just because he hasn't continued playing. I go over the rocket launchers in my commando video. This is a pretty rare drop too. You get this from one of the fridge missions. I'll quickly do this. For those who haven't played through the Psycho much, this is the I Hear Your Blood head. This is one of my favorites just because it kind of the alien look to it. Some of them, I mean, they look neat, but they're not terribly impressive. This is the default Krieg head. Turn around. Do it. In terms of my aesthetic tastes, this is a more likable one. Kind of the anime hair. Long live the meat. I believe this was the... I want to say this was the statuesque mission payout head. Any head that lets you see a bit of his face. Or they're the neat ones, because he's got that Bane quality. It's like, oh, what does his face look like? We want to see his face, even though you probably have a good idea what it looks like. Nose and chin. This is the one that shows that off. This was a rare drop that was coming from... I want to say it was coming from a badass enemy. That or was coming from Community Day. So this one actually just flat out shows you his face. It's like a luchador wrestler. Yeah, so My Mind is a Prison is the... And that's the thing, because the other save has it unlocked, this one has it unlocked. That is the To Pay the Bills head. Stay in school, kids! I think this is the first head you unlock in the game. The first mission that gives you a head unlock. Maybe not. I could be wrong. There's one in the Southern Shelf, and then there's the one Lilith gives you when you track down the recorders early on. Shoot it out of me. I'm coming for you. I want to say this is one of the first two heads you unlock. This and Stay in School. This one's kind of got a bit of a Bioshock quality to it, kind of that single eye. Video game face, the Minecraft head. When you go into the Minecraft area in the Caustic Caverns, kill the creepers. They always drop multiple things. When I was last doing that mission, they dropped the same skin 3 times, but they drop a Minecraft skin and a Minecraft head, which is what this is. And it's the one that's like the most inconsistent with the world, but and of course, Handsome Jack's face for finishing the playthrough. With the 4 core characters, when you're wearing Handsome Jack's face, you speak in his voice. Not the case with the Psycho. I don't think it is with the Necromancer either, unless they've patched that for the sake of Xbox One play. Keelhaul your infant. This is the Psycho head that pays out from the Pirate DLC. It looks kind of neat. Zen and the Art of Meat. This was another head mission just from the default game, I'm pretty sure. My ears are ringing. This was the head they gave that came out. It was attached to the Fantasy DLC. I think they had to release that code twice because the first time they did, Krieg wasn't out. Then they did a bunch of skin packs that were just literally just to give people new skins. Breathe Deep, which I think... I'm pretty sure this is actually the mask that pairs properly to the skin he's wearing. Like the hazmat kind of thing. I want to be wanted, which is a wanted sign right on his face. Which pairs with the prison skin. Splitting headache. I believe paired with bathe in the gore. My axe is thirsty. Hard to say. That might have paired with bathe in the gore. Not sure what was supposed to pair with the dark leaks out of me. I don't know. It's a neat skin just because it adds tattoos. He's got so little garments on him in the first place that there's not much that changes color when you change skin. Then glug glug glug. Beer hat. Reach for the skies. This was his go-to. This is the head I had him wearing for a long time just because it's one of the more interesting ones and it's thematically appropriate to the game, the landscape of the game, kind of the... That is the one that pairs with How Do I Vests. I think these were the Community Day skins. Skin and head for Krieg. The Headhunter DLCs, the Halloween. Looks kind of silly on every other character, but with Krieg, you actually kind of believe that he would do that. Which is why I think it looks neat on him. And he's so big in the frame, too, that a lot of times he's just kind of overpowering. The Thanksgiving Headhunter. This is the same for every character, it's just a turkey head. The pumpkins are slightly different. No, the size is different of the pumpkin, the face is the same on everyone. He hasn't done the Christmas DLC yet. Put a shank into Bobby. This was the head. They released a skin pack when the pre-sequel came out to make him look like one of the moon scabs. And that is his last head, so... But the point of being here was to look at this trophy case. As I said with the other guy, he had all non-fire and non-bayoneted orange things. This guy has the inverse. He has the... And again, because I was building him co-op, I was planning on building further into this side of the tree. Just to kind of familiarize with it. Like the idea of having two psychos is you can play them, you can build them two different ways. So, he's got the pitchfork. This... There might be two in here, but... Orange dull sniper rifle. Much like the Varuk, it has a spreading shot, and it's got melee. The volcano. I think in two of the playthrough ends, killing the warrior, I managed to get 2 volcanoes out of that guy. And this was the pure, actually 3 parts pure. And yeah, in terms of elemental, this is definitely one of the better ones. Of course, he can't use it yet. I would have loved to have gotten a higher level version of this. The Hellfire people who this was a gun that was in the first game as well. And it's much like the bitch, it is one of the best SMGs you'll deal with. And a higher level version would do much better damage. That's just my memory of in the first game. The Hellfire was easily the best SMG in the entire game, if not the best fire weapon in the entire game. And this was a random drop from a low-level badass enemy, so not terribly usable. So yeah, there's going to be a couple of these in here, I think. The Logan's gun. My memory of this stupid thing is that the shot actually kind of splits, and it like hits the person behind the person you're shooting at. So it's a little frustrating for that reason. the very low-level Thunderbolt Fists. As you saw, there was a non-bayoneted one. So they're both electrical. So the idea of the other guy wasn't to be non-elemental, it would just to be non-fire, non-bayonet. This one is bayoneted, however, it's also... Don't know about the bayonet, that might actually be the doll bayonet, I'm not entirely sure. Again, I went to the point of learning extensively what parts were what vendor, but the bayonets and the scopes... Well, the bayonets I'm the least familiar with. The scopes are... A lot of them are self-explanatory, because that's the TDR scope. So this is the Varuk that's in the trophy case right now, but once my Micromonster is past the point of using hers, because she has a pretty well 100% pure doll, pure version of this. Once it's no longer useful to her, it will come to this trophy case, and this will probably just be sold. But having the carbine with the bayonet on it, that's definitely doll for a carbine, because very traditional military. Doll or Vladov? It's hard to say. I don't know if Vladov has bayonets. And if it sounds like my voice is getting a little rough here, it is because I've been talking while streaming for a while now. Can't imagine what that must be like for YouTubers who do that day after day. So yeah, another Logan's gun with the Maliwan grip and a bayonet on it. Another pitchfork, a lower level fire pitchfork, because the other one was electrical. Let's jump back to it real quick. It's got like the suits of the deck of cards on them. Not entirely sure what that's a reference to, but... The longbow. Ce n'est pas un sniper rifle. Apparently this also drops from when you're in the Caustic Caverns, and supposedly it drops from that Minecraft area. And as you fire it, those little blades on the side start to spread out. Like all Hyperion weapon does that. The tines gradually kind of expand. So when this one spreads out, it starts to look kind of like a crossbow. And the shot is literally a Minecraft arrow. I think that's it for Orange in this trophy case. He's just got a bit of other gear that he's going to use once he's level appropriate. Well, that is if I ever play him again, and I don't know if I'm going to come back to this Psycho. He has a Flame of the Firehawk. This is actually a mission payout. Once you meet Lilith in the No. Frostburn Canyon. 2 maps that start with F. Hard to keep them straight. For when you get it, it's usually a very, very useful level appropriate shield. It's one of the better Nova types because of continuously releasing the Fire Nova when it's depleted. So if you're taking just constant fire from an enemy, you're kicking empty, you are kicking off perpetual Novas. Got an Absorb and a Turtle Shield waiting for him. And that's about it. So those are my trophy cases. I've been giving thought, not just for my own sake, just to kind of make some videos for my channel. I've been thinking of just doing a playthrough of the game. Like, literally, like, just from start to finish. And
without the Vault Hunter's intervention, Jackie Rabbit.
And as much as I'd like to... I don't know if I have it in me to be, like, completely pandering. I think the way I would narrate is I would just narrate as someone who's put as many hours into the game as I have. And I would talk very candidly about the stuff and just kind of describing ways to do things. I guess I think it would be hard for me to speak about this game in a way to completely in a way that would be necessary to explain it to someone who is brand new to the game. Because as I've said in one of my previous trophy case videos, this game is closing on 4 years old. If you were going to play it and haven't yet, I think in terms of like spoiler stuff, I think it's past the statute of limitations for that. And more, like I said in the other video, people who intended to play this game have played it. And doing a playthrough is not, doing a let's play of it is not the most necessary thing at this point. I would just kind of want to, just for the sake of having content for my channel. Hey, Scooter.
I'll let you know if I get any new jobs I need doing.
So, that is my trophy case series. I am going to, I think that'll be it for now. And as I said in a previous video, I think I actually have the house to myself for the next week or two, so I might be tempted to do a playthrough of the game. Like a full playthrough where you hit every side mission. It would take a little longer than that if I could do them in like half-hour chunks. I don't know. I'm considering it. I could do one for the pre-sequel as well too, just because. And here's the strange thing: the pre-sequel is just over a year old now too. I haven't finished a playthrough. The game just didn't really hook me the way this one did. I think it has a lot to do with kind of the psychology behind it. I didn't necessarily need to know what made Jack a villain. He was such a perfect bad guy, and I don't need into his head. He's a completely sadistic, self-centered megalomaniac, and he didn't need to be anything more than that. Which is, plus, I think you got that kind of the Mad Max quality of Borderlands 2 versus Mad Max in space quality of the pre-sequel. So there was a slight tonal shift, which may be a big part of why
Now with 200% more libel.
I just haven't cared as much. So, like I said, I am going to end this one, and if I do come back, it might be to do a playthrough. And I will see people in the next set.